I've worked with thousands of men and couples, and I can tell you with absolute certainty relationships don't fall apart because of one big event. They fall apart because there's no frame. So, no one ever really sets the standards for how love is supposed to work. Every stable, passionate, long lasting relationship follows the same 13 core principles, whether they know it or not, and every broken relationship violates them. The 13 Apex Frame standards are not theories. They're patterns that I've seen over and over again across thousands of real people. Ignoring them and your relationship erodes. Live by them and it thrives. I did a 3-hour live stream that covers all of them, but today we'll cover the most controversial one, and that is the issue of sex and sexual surrender. The most common pattern in relationships is that once the honeymoon phase is over, the sexual frequency and quality goes down. We all know this, but what isn't being talked about is that the sexual decline that has been normalized throughout history is the number one reason relationships will fail. So today I'm going to get into the why and the science behind it, but most importantly, I will get into what to do about it. And that's where the controversy comes in. You see, the solution to the problem is so easy, yet it's outside of the frame of what most of you are probably thinking. Let's get into it. Out of all 13, there really is no most important, because if you're missing one, it's all in the toilet. But this one is the one that's big. This one's the controversial one. This is the one that I say shit about this and everyone flips the fuck out on me. Okay? Everyone freaks out. People start protecting their ego. Women get really upset at this one. Okay, so this one upsets a lot of women. It's funny because it shouldn't. I'm going to tell you what it is, and you're going to go, most of you who regularly listen to me will be like, that shouldn't piss anybody off. But it does. This one is a major thing for people. Okay? And that is sex. Okay. 7, sexual integrity and desire maintenance. Desire maintenance. What does that mean? You have to fuck the person you're with. You have to do it enthusiastically. And you have to do it frequently. When in doubt, fuck the person you're with. Sex. Bang your wives. Bang your husbands. Bang your girlfriends. You're having struggle in a relationship? Bang each other first, then work it out. You see what I'm saying? You work something out and you want to celebrate? Bang each other to celebrate, then go have dinner. Okay? You got some wonderful milestone event, have a really good milestone sex. You just got done with an argument, have that really hot breakup sex. You see what I'm saying? Bang each other. Like, banging each other is a solution to most of your problems. Yet, people get married and they stop banging each other. Whoa, you know what I mean? And then women who are in these relationships, a lot of them like to act like they're assault victims. Oh, you mean I have to bang my husband? I'm such a victim. You're just like, come on. Why'd you marry him if you don't want to bang him? Like, come on, dude. You know what I'm saying? And so this is such a easy one to do because it should be fun. But so many people don't do it. They're not good at it. They're not learning how to get better at it. They're not learning how to please their partners. They don't do things for the other person. You know what I mean? Guy's not trying to please, I don't know. Guy's not trying to be better at this. He's not figuring it out. She's not it's just so stupid. This one is stupid. And it's something I have a hard time understanding because I don't get into relationships with women unless we're banging. I don't really understand it. You know what I mean? Friendships, obviously, and platonic, but non-platonic, you're in a non-platonic relationship, you're not banging. I mean, there was a point where I had that happen to me years ago, and I solved that problem, and I decided right then I'm never going to get into this problem again. And guess what? I never did. It's been a long time that I've never had that problem. I had that problem one time, and I solved it. Never had the problem again. The problem of the sex going down and then being in a situation where sex is a problem. Sex has not been a problem since I decided. All I had to do as a man, this is all you have to do as a man, is decide that this isn't going to be a problem anymore. Once you decide that, then the problems you're having with the sex, they're going to solve themselves. I'm not saying they do it overnight, but they will solve themselves either because you're out of that sexless, shitty relationship or because she is banging you enthusiastically in the relationship, right? You're solving it. Once you solve it, you'll never not solve it. It's one of those things. Now, you may need some tools and some skills in order to solve it, which is why, again, schedule an appointment with me. Okay. Let's talk about a coaching program. Let's get you into something. But this should not be a problem. But it's such a problem. It's a big problem. All right. Psychopaths are evil, but they are successful. And not because they're evil, they're successful because they're effective. The average man is drowning in overthinking, fear, people pleasing, and hesitation, while the most ruthless personalities walk through life winning while you are struggling and you are losing. But here's the truth. You don't need to be a psychopath to win. You just need to learn the traits that they mastered and use them without being immoral or having poor ethics. Focus so sharp that it cuts through distraction. Charm that bends social dynamics. Resilience that makes you unshakable. Ruthlessness, but with empathy for others. The ability to say no without guilt. Fearlessness in the moments that matter. Mindfulness that kills anxiety, and action taking that separates leaders from followers. This isn't about becoming a terrible person. It's about becoming powerful. Someone who leads, someone women trust and desire. Someone who commands his world instead of just reacting to it. And that's why I created the Psychopath's Playbook, a complete system for the good men, the non-psychopathic men, but for men who want the results without becoming evil and without wasting years of trying to figure it out alone. This is an inner game course that will allow you to tap into that thing that you have been missing, that thing that's inside of you that will allow you to make more money, seduce women, and succeed. If you're ready to unlock the traits that make the world's most effective men untouchable, click the link and get into the community. When this course drops, you will get your exclusive announcement, and you'll be on the list before it fills up. And together, we'll make you unshakable, undeniable, and unstoppable. This is where your old self ends and your rise begins. I'll see you there. Now, I say this and people are like, he's just a crazy sex person, crazy sex guy, just wants to, he's a pervert guy. Come on. Because they don't understand how important this is or whatever. It's just all bullshit. So much bullshit. So much mental gymnastics and just ego protecting stuff. You know? Like most of these, anyway, most couples will think like, oh, the relationship's falling apart because they've gotten busy, they've gotten stress and this, and maybe the kids or it's work. And then we have these communication problems. No, those aren't the problems. Your communication problems, they're not the problem. That's a symptom. I mean, you may have communication problems, but it's a symptom. It's a symptom of something else. It's a symptom, not the cause. The real breakdown is because you're not fucking each other. You're not doing it well. And that's not something that you're offering each other on a regular enough basis or on an intense enough basis, right? Women are settling with guys who are not banging them as well as other guys have in their past. And the guys that they've settled with aren't interested in getting any better at it. So a woman's not that motivated or interested. She's with, the number 5 on her list of sexual experiences. She married that guy. That guy doesn't even know it. He's walking around because there's no integrity. We don't have the previous standard of integrity for these relationships. So she's not telling them the truth. He doesn't want to know the truth. He's just walking around going, we said I do. She loves me. Oh, maybe if I clean the kitchen more, she'll touch my wiener. And she's like, he's the fifth guy on my list to have sex with. There's 5 other guys I would have sex with before my husband. That's what she's thinking. So why the fuck would she bang him? She doesn't want to. Okay? She doesn't want to because she's not the guy that she wants to bang. And you don't even know it. You won't accept it because your ego's too fragile. Instead of accepting it, take your fucking medicine and then figure out, how am I going to get better at this? Or maybe I dump her and find somebody who sees me differently. Like, maybe it's a combination of both. But instead of attacking the problem, you just want to be lied to. You see how these like 13 standards are a lot more difficult. They sound obvious, but when you dig into them, you realize, wow, people really aren't doing these things because they're a lot harder than they sound on paper. Like, to be truthful and have honesty, that means if you're not her sexual best, she would have to tell you. That means if you're not the sex is not at the level that it needs to be, she has to express that to you. You have to find that out. You have to want to see where that is. If she's not having sex with you at the level that you want, you have to have a conversation about that. These are conversations people don't like having. And then their relationship blows up and they wonder why. I don't wonder why. I know exactly why. And a lot of times it blows up because you're not fucking enough. That's the simple thing. So you're not fucking enough and it's not good enough when you do it. Like, it's both. It's quality as well as quantity. You know, and women tend to think like, well, if we just do it once a month, but it is really high quality by my shitty standards of a woman who doesn't know her own body and who has to orgasm from vibrators. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? That's not going to cut it. Okay. And then guys think, well, if I can just nut in her every day for 2 minutes, then that should be good, right? No, it's not good. It has to be both. It has to be quality as well as frequency. And that, if you started off with high desire to begin with, this isn't a problem in the beginning. But what happens is over time, it becomes a problem. That's the biggest thing. So the thing is, if you don't start off with high sexual attraction and energy, this relationship's not going to work. Okay. Let me break down why from a scientific level. Alrighty. It's not just because I'm a strange pervert on the internet who wants people to have sex more, because that's so terrible. It's because it's science. It's because you have a bonding mechanism in your neurochemistry. Love, the whole love thing, which is a container word, nobody knows what it means. From a scientific perspective, love is the bonding, which is a series of neurochemicals that respond in your brain to this other person and makes you feel the love feelings, makes you feel horny for them as well as in love with them. Okay, both of those, they're all attached together. They're all linked. All right, so pair bonding is the word they use in the literature. Not your weird definition of pair bonding. Pair bonding is the word they use to say that you are having a neurochemical feelings of being bonded with that person. Okay. Women especially bond through oxytocin. You guys, you have vasopressin. So you'll bond with a woman who doesn't like you and doesn't want to touch your wiener, and you'll feel a sense of duty towards her. This is why guys stay in sexless marriages. They stay because they love her. They want to, it's all the things to try to protect her. That's how a guy bonds, with vasopressin as well as oxytocin, and beta endorphin plays a role over time. Okay. That's what happens. For a girl though, girl doesn't have vasopressin for you. All she has is the comfort feeling, the beta endorphin over time, as well as the oxytocin. But oxytocin is fleeting. Oxytocin goes away if you don't do things to stimulate it. All right? And so you have to do things to stimulate oxytocin in her brain, or she will not maintain those feelings of love for you. Oxytocin is that hormone that makes her trust you, makes her feel the love feelings, makes her want to be close. makes her feel attached and safe with you. All right. She won't have that because it's a fleeting thing unless you do things to stimulate it. It goes away naturally, is what I'm trying to tell you. If you do nothing, it goes away. Now, women, what are women motivated with? What causes women to do things? Emotions, right? So in the beginning, when you're new, she has horniness and it's very dopamigenic, and then she gets the physical contact and the touch. And if you know halfway of what, if you have a half of an idea of what you're doing in the bedroom, then she gets to orgasm with you too on top of it. And then she feels a bonding feeling. Now, if she went through 100 guys before you, that bonding feeling is going to be harder to stimulate. That's the problem with notches. I've done other videos on it. But regardless, the sexual thing, the physical touch, and sex, intercourse, orgasms, that is the biggest stimulant of oxytocin there is for her. Okay? The largest stimulant. When you stimulate and spike the oxytocin serum levels in the blood are higher over time. But if you stop stimulating that oxytocin, those serum levels come down and they come right back down to a level of a single person. That's when she doesn't feel those love feelings so much for you. Okay? So what do you have to do to get those things to happen, to spike those feelings? Well, you have to do a lot of things, but you have to do sex. Sex is the main thing that does it. The closeness before and after, closeness the next day even, physical touch, that does it too. The way you talk to each other, you see it's a compounding effect. But the compounding effect doesn't have anything to compound off of if you're not having intercourse. Or, you see what I mean? Now, there's a whole thing about desiring intercourse. For those who abstain from sex until marriage, because it's dopamigenic and they haven't had it yet, there can be an oxytocin stimulant there, also the dopamine stimulant with the anticipation of sex, which is why they rush in to get married. So religious people tend to get married faster because they want to fuck each other. Okay, that's really what it is. And that's okay. It's not a criticism. I'm just making an observation. All right, so they're holding off and abstaining till sex, till marriage. They tend to get married faster, younger, earlier, because they want to fuck each other. And then once they start fucking each other, though, all that dopamine stuff is being satisfied and the oxytocin's happening. But then what happens is you get to know the person. So when you get to know the person and the beta endorphin comfort sets in, there's less of a dopamine stimulant to have sex. So then the sex starts to go down. Why? Because you guys have the girl controlling the sex, which is most of you. Most of you, the woman dictates when and how sex will happen, not you as a man, which is not a universal. It doesn't have to be true, by the way. It's not my relationship. She doesn't dictate. My girlfriend doesn't dictate the sex. I do. But that's a very rare circumstance. You have to have a high level of game to get her to consensually basically sign off or co-sign you as the power of attorney, okay, of her sexual decisions, which you need, by the way. That's actually my suggestion. It's very controversial, but it shouldn't be. The woman is literally signing off the power of attorney over her sexual decisions to you. Not really actually signing a piece of paper, but figuratively speaking, she is handing over the responsibility and of sex to you. You are the person who is not only responsible for it, but also has the authority over it. You see? So she gives that authority to you. Most of you guys, like 99% of you guys, the girl is dictating sex. You may lie to yourself and say she's not, but wait till she has a headache, right? She's dictating sex. She's the one who's deciding, not you. And that's a problem already. This is the reason the shit breaks down. This is a standard you need to have immediately. Okay. And if you don't, good luck to you. All right. Now it may not have to be as like extreme sub dom or dom sub as my relationship, but it has to be a standard or she can't use and leverage sex against you. Okay. Because scientifically, this is the bond. This is what stimulates the emotions. So back to that. Women are driven by their emotions, right? So what happens? In the beginning, there's all the dopamine of a new person and good stress, like, norepinephrine and a little adrenaline, right? That makes her feel all the anticipation and want for the new guy, okay? Then she starts having sex with you. What happens? You become familiar. Beta endorphin kicks in. She becomes comfortable. That's okay. You need that for a long-term relationship. It can't be all dopamigenic all the time. Those are high toxic relationships usually, and they don't last. She does need to have some comfort with you, right? She does need to have those things. But then what has to happen? Well, there's no feeling in her brain then to stimulate and make sex happen. She doesn't necessarily, she only feels like she wants to have sex then during and around ovulation. And then a lot of the rest of the month, she's just not feeling like it. And then, so it starts off where in a relate is a typical degradation of what should be a good relationship. Two people get together, they desire each other, they desire each other, they start banging each other all the time. So it's like multiple times a day, right? Like they're all over each other. Honeymoon phase. And then they get familiar. That starts to drop off to maybe every day instead of multiple times a day. Then it's a few times a week. But then as it drops off, there's less stimulation to keep it going. So a few times a week, and throw in some stress, they don't have they're too comfortable. So they don't have those dopamine feelings to bang each other because they're just comfortable with each other. So they let stress take over. They let this thing, that thing. Now they're not having sex as much. Now a couple times a week turns into once every couple of weeks. And that turns into once a month. Now they're effectively in a sexless marriage at once a month. Happens all the time. Happens at a high percentage levels. Most people have experienced this short term, and then maybe they fixed it. A lot of people, though, have experienced this indefinitely. Many of you listening to this right now have been or are in a sexless marriage right now. That's what happens. Because you let her brain, what you did was you let the girl's emotions dictate your sexual activity. And her emotions are designed to let this sexual activity erode over time, which means less oxytocin. The less sex you're having, the less quality sex, I'll say, that you're having, the less oxytocin stimulates in her brain, and the less desire she has. So her brain is designed to get comfortable with you, stop seeking sexual opportunities, stop saying yes to sex, and then it just erodes over time, and next thing you know, she doesn't have that desire for you. Now she's bored. Now she's wondering, well, what's the next thing we're going to do? I feel I love him, but I just don't, something's missing. This is what you get when you let her dictate sex. Ladies who are listening to me, for the ladies that are fortunate enough to hear this stream, this is going to sound really like counterintuitive to you. You need to give up sexual control completely. Not to just any fucking guy on the street, not to the crackhead that you run into when you're downtown or something, but to a guy you trust. When you trust the guy, when you feel that emotional bond, when you know he's the right guy, you need to give up all of your sexual authority to him. All of it. The Bible says it. It does. All right. I don't have it at my fingertips, but the Bible does tell you to do that. But of course, modern Christian tradcons who run a feminist brand with a traditional conservative outfit on, that's all it is traditional conservative marketing for feminism. Those Christians are dominating the church right now, and they will disagree with that statement, but they're wrong. If you're following the Bible, if you're following the Quran, okay, if you're following principles of Judaism, even, okay, guess what? A woman surrenders to the guy and gives up her sexual authority to her husband. That's what happens. Okay. So in a long-term relationship, when it's the right guy, the woman needs to give up all of her sexual authority to the guy. That needs to be your fucking standard, which 99% of you don't have that right now. And so that's problematic. It's very problematic, because if you don't have that standard, what happens is she's in charge of the sex. None of this 50-50 bullshit equality stuff either, because equality just means that she's in charge. Understand that. What happens is, okay, you're both making the decision. Well, when she feels any type of way, that makes the decision for you. If she's horny and says yes, then okay. If she doesn't feel like it that day, then it's a no. How is that making the decision together? It's not making the decision together, because you can't negotiate it. As a guy, you can't be like, I know you don't feel like it that day, but like, maybe we could do it anyway. Like, let me negotiate. Like, it doesn't, you can't negotiate it. You have to seduce her. You can't negotiate sex. You have to seduce sex from her, right? In a sense. But she has to give up that authority to you after a point for the long-term relationship to work. You know what I mean? And this is very counterintuitive and very scary for women who have been trained their whole lives to think that men are terrible. So women who are trained by gynocentrism, trained by feminism, think that all men are shit, and therefore, giving the man control over the sex is this terrible idea, which will make her this horrible sex slave and saddled with having terrible sex. And she's, what is she, a prostitute? I'm not. Whatever. You can just imagine and think about all of the dumb things that are come out of the ladies' mouths at the prospect or idea that they have sex with their husbands, or they have sex with their long-term relationship companion. At that mere idea or thought, it stimulates so much visceral reaction from so many women. And the reality is, without it, you're fucking failing. You're done. That's the reality. Can't be successful. Okay? It's not gifts. It's not date nights. It's not this corny bullshit you guys do. It's fucking, okay? Orgasms, physical intimacy, physical touch, skin to skin contact, and all of the flirting and all of the banter and all the warm stuff afterwards, and the after sex snack or joint or cigar, in my case cigar, or whatever you're doing. All of those things add up. It's all surrounded by the physical act of orgasming with this other person, and all those things. That is stimulating a massive amount of oxytocin, which keeps the desire going. Without it, you don't have it. Okay? Duty sex once a month or once every couple of weeks is not stimulating enough oxytocin. Enthusiastic, frequent sex is the only thing that does. Okay? And the more you do it, the more addicting it becomes for her and for you. And then you maintain that desire. It's really such a simple formula. Just bang more. It's such a simple formula. Where are all the therapists telling you to do this? Most of them are not. Most of them go to couples therapy and bitch about how the guy's not doing enough or whatever it is. And it's just nonsense. Bunch of mental gymnastics and bullshit from two people who've lost desire for each other. So the sexual neglect happens, and it just destroys everything. So here's the thing. You have to have a free use standard. I'm not talking like free use pornography category, although it's similar. It's similar. It doesn't look like that category, I don't imagine. I don't really watch pornography, so I'm not sure what it looks like, but I've heard of someone notified me when I came with the word free use that's a porn category. It's like, yeah, like, okay, cool, but I imagine it's similar. I don't know. But free use means no one says no to each other. So like the standard in the relationship needs to be no one says no to sex. Nobody does. All right. You show up for each other sexually. You prioritize intimacy. Okay. And you stay available for that person. Now, you can't say no but you can't express how you're feeling. So what does that look like? Okay, so there's a legitimate reason, like I have diarrhea and I'm going to poop myself. Okay, that could be one. Okay, maybe. I have a stomach flu, and if we have sex, I'm going to throw up all over the place. Maybe that's real. Okay, but then you're not saying no. You're saying, she's not saying no. She's saying, I have a stomach flu or whatever. She may not need to say that because you as a guy, because remember, she picked a good guy and hopefully that's you. You're paying attention to how she's feeling. See, when you have this is the thing that women need to understand too. When you're the man and you have the authority over the sex, then you, because of your vasopressin, pay attention to her. If you feel like she's not going to really enjoy sex that much today because of something going on with her, then you're probably not going to have sex with her that day. You're probably going to give it a break. You know what I mean? You're not just after whatever. You'll save it for tomorrow morning. You'll save it for the next day. You'll save it for a better time. If you're not feeling like she's feeling it as a guy, when you have the authority, you're probably not going to just force her into it, right? And so that's the other part about it. All right, with authority comes that responsibility too. All right. You guys both prioritize and derive enjoyment. Don't pick a girl who doesn't enjoy pleasing you. Don't pick a girl who's just there as a warm body, there to receive whatever sexual interest you have, but has not really much of an interest in eagerness to please you. If she's not eager to please you, she probably doesn't desire you that much. There's probably a guy in her past that she was eager to please, and you're not him. So don't get in a relationship with her, okay? But some girls are just wired to not want to please a guy. Well, you don't get in a long-term relationship with her, okay? She has to change that or she doesn't get your commitment because you are needing to please her. You need to be wired to do that. You're not going to do this marriage where you escape to porn, she escapes to her vibrator or her shower head, and nobody's banging anymore. That's normally what happens, but that's not going to be your relationship. If you expect it to be successful, you have this as a very serious standard. You take it very seriously. And as a guy, I don't know. I think you should only have to go through a sexless relationship where you're in this conflict one time before you ever do it again. Like, I don't know. Some guys seem to want to love punishment, misery, but like, you should, if you've done this once, if you did that sexless marriage thing, why would you ever do it again? Like, why would you ever do that again? That seems crazy to me. So like, and anyways, you got to understand, keeping desire alive is a drive. It's a purpose. It's not something that's going to happen on accident. Okay. You have to do this intentionally, and your standard for the relationship is she understands this. And she has to be willing to do it intentionally too. Now, when a girl sees you as the best that she can do, this is not a hard thing to instill. In the beginning of the relationship, it's easy to instill. When the feeling of letting the frequency drop off is happening for her, but she is given the authority up to you and she says yes anyway, even if she's not in the mood, there is no mood, you just do it anyway. And then what happens is she's not in the mood, but she does it anyway. Once she gets into it, things start to feel good. She ends up having an orgasm because you know what you're doing, hopefully as a guy. If not, remember that community link I talk about? Get there, ask questions. But if you sexually know what you're doing as a guy, you guys got good sex together. When she's not in the mood, guess what? She's still going to have an orgasm. She's still going to be happy. It's still going to stimulate oxytocin. And it's great. You know, maybe it's not like the Michelin 5-star restaurant, but pizza's good some days, right? Like, that's kind of how sex is. Sex is just like good food. Some is better than the other, right? The lower level of sex that you're having shouldn't be bad sex. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a quickie. Sometimes it's an all-nighter. Like, you get what I'm saying, right? This is something that you need to have as a priority. And this is the biggest thing that goes away. This is things people push back on. This is the thing women push back on. And women push back on this because they want to use sex for power. That's why. Women want to, most people in relationships haven't sorted out the polarity and the power dynamic, which is another bullet point I'll be getting to. And so they haven't sorted it out. So what they're doing is they're just in a relationship that's transactional, and they're fighting each other for power. And the biggest weapon a girl has in that fight for power in these transactional relationships that all these idiots are promoting, what's her biggest weapon? The biggest weapon she has is sex. So in a transactional relationship, she's not giving up her power with sex to you. She's not giving that authority up because she wants to use it, whether it's do things for you sexually or take away things. And usually it's take away sex in order to get you to do what she wants. She modifies your behavior with the dangling of the carrot of sex. Most women don't understand how to have a relationship without doing that. They've never experienced it. They've never seen it. They've never been trained. So, but that's a recipe for disaster. If a woman is using sex for power, using that carrot dangle, right, to get you to do what she wants, what's going to happen is she's going to have sex with you less and less. She's going to desire you less and less. Her respect will go away for you. And that's going to be it. You're going to be in a shitty marriage. Congratulations. So you can't let her have power over this. Both of you have to agree and submit to the power of the frame of the relationship with you as a leader, that sex is something you share, you put effort into. If you're not feeling it, so what? Figure it out. You know what I mean? Figure out. You felt it before, so you start figuring out how to feel it again. You know what I mean? If you just do it and you put effort into it, and you recognize that your attraction is something you need to manage, not just something the other person needs to do, it's going to work out a lot better. You know, so what does this mean though, right? So no one says no. You care about the other person's pleasure. Here's a big one. How about all these people who get unattractive once they get married or whatever? That whole thing is eliminated by this standard. See, if you know that you're going to be fucking each other as a standard, then you will maintain your attractiveness to each other so the other person will want to sleep with you. That's part of the standard, is to put effort into the sexual relationship, which includes not just frequency and intensity, but includes maintaining your appearance, maintaining your hygiene, the way that you smell, showing up and being an attractive person. She's not going to gain 100 pounds if she understands she has to be sexy for you. She has to wear the right clothing, do the right things to be sexy so that you want to bang her. And that also means maintain a good level of fitness, maintain a good body weight. And guess what? You as a man, you need to be doing all of those things as well. But that's a no-brainer if you guys are having a sex life. When sex is this optional thing that just erodes away, what else erodes away? The motivation to maintain your appearance and attractiveness for the other person as well. So you see how this is all tied together. And fucking each other and being sexually enthusiastic about each other and taking that seriously is the standard. What else? What's she going to do? She's going to go to the gym or do yoga at the house or eat properly, right? Like all of those things are going to happen. When you have frame, you don't have these other problems that all these internet people talk about for your clickbait engagement. You know what I mean? All right, that's enough about sex. But you guys got the point. Okay, and so many women want to resist this point. Well, I would argue and say to those women, it's because they're not with a guy who they would feel, who they really feel like they can surrender their sexual authority to. When a woman is with a guy who blows their mind sexually, they feel like they can surrender that authority to him, provided he checks all the other blocks too, which is meaning, being a good guy to get with, being trustworthy, not being a narcissist, like all the things, right? When a guy is a good, healthy guy and she bonds with him sexually and he blows her mind sexually, most girls don't have as big of a problem as you think of giving up that authority, okay? But it's the standard you need to have and you need to enforce it. And if you don't, then you're not going to. The default will be She controls the sex. And when that's the default, you're in a struggle now to maintain this desire. Not good. Okay, so don't do that to yourself.